Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to DevSync. It's been a while, and as you can see, the faces have changed. Some are the same, but Jeremy has moved on, obviously. So you've got myself, Jim. I'll be hosting going forward, and just to round things out, Ved is here. He's picking up heading up, I should say, protocol engineering. Not a big change there for his role, but myself and Emil are picking up more kind of product focused development, so mainly auto drive. Anyone who's been following along in GitHub will see there's been a lot of commits from us recently. And yeah, we thought that it was time to start the fortnightly DevSync calls again. We have been incredibly busy, but we need to make time to make sure that everyone gets a chance to see what we're up to. So welcome back, or welcome for the first time, depending on if you've joined us previously. Okay, let's get straight into it. So community updates, as we normally do. So something interesting, I did post this in the developer chat, is that we have an agent, an autonomous evangelist, if you like, who's active on Maltbook, an OpenClaw instance. And interestingly, we keep an eye on what is discussed over there, but interestingly, we had another agent request a feature for auto memory being one of our OpenClaw skills based on storing agent experiences on the DSN. So I'm going to put the link down below. So if you're catching up later, I'll put the link down below. If you're watching live, check out immediately after the call. I'll update the links. But there is an issue in the autonomous organization in the OpenClaw skills repo. It's the latest issue, if you really can't wait, which was a feature suggested by another agent about using the DSN to also store some, a sparse index, if you like, to try and find memories quicker. Very interesting. So agents suggesting features to other agents that are maintaining OpenClaw skills. What a time to be alive. Some other more admin-y stuff is if you take a look on the forum, a while ago we published the official foundation controlled addresses that hold tokens. So obviously we are very close to 12 months post TGE, where there are some unlocks. That forum post has been updated. We are moving tokens from consensus to auto EVM, basically, where tokens get locked into contracts. So if you see some movements there, check out the forum post. It's got the explanation on all the from and to wallets there. Emil has also updated the supply checker. So there's if you look in the autonomous community repo, you will see that there is a real-time circulating supply checker. It's been updated to cover the new wallets. So just wanted to make sure that if anyone has got any questions, check the forum post, but come and find us if you have any questions about that. In addition, Guardians of Growth is still ongoing. The foundation had staked on operators 2 and 3. It had staked 500,000 tokens to each. This is all in the Guardians of Growth post, and we have just unstaked those because, as we always promised, any earnings made on those on that stake on those operators, we would recycle back into the program. So we've done that. We completed that today. And we are going to go away and crunch some numbers on what the kind of final stage is of the current phase of Guardians of Growth is going to look like. So stay tuned. We'll get back to you on that. Okay, that's pretty much it on the community side. Haven't really had any farmers who are having real problems. We had a couple of guys who have some connectivity issues, but nothing that we can identify as a pattern that's affecting the whole network. So, but you know, as always, please do let us know if you're having any problems with farming. So we can move into the next section, project highlights and demos. We got a couple today. Emil, do you want to give us, you're going to give us the intro and an explanation about Pay with AI3?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it. Yeah, let me just share my screen and get everything ready. Yeah, I'll start with a bit of the kind of preamble. Yeah, here you go. Until recently, access to permanent decentralized storage through AutoDrive was limited. A user could try AutoDrive with free monthly allowance, and which is useful for testing small uploads, and in some cases it's more than sufficient, like storing in case you're storing your agent's memory. For larger user though, access usually depended on a more manual path. It's either applying for support through the Subspace Foundation, receiving credits directly, or working with Autonomys as an ecosystem partner. And Pay with AI3 changes that. It gives users a direct way to buy AutoDrive storage credits with AI3. So now instead of waiting for approval or asking someone to allocate credits, a user can sign in, connect a wallet, choose how much storage they need, and pay on chain. Today, each account can hold up to 100 gigabytes of purchased storage credits. And once purchased, those credits can be used in the same AutoDrive experience people already know, uploading through the user interface, using the SDK, or working through the REST API. So the main point is simple. Pay with AI3 turns AutoDrive storage from something that required manual access into something a user can purchase directly. So a true permissionless access to autonomous DSN storage. And as for the demo, I'll show the user-facing flow in AutoDrive. First, I need to go to AutoDrive, which is available at ai3.storage, and sign in with Google. This matters for the current version of Pay with AI3, and Google authentication is required in order to purchase credits. If I sign in using another methods such as GitHub or Discord or Wallet, I will not see the purchase option. So I'll click on Google and sign in with my account. Once I'm on the main screen, once I'm in the dashboard, I need to go to the bottom left corner where I see the button Buy More Credits and click on it. And this opens the purchase flow. Next, I can choose how much storage I want to buy. And this page shows the current price based on the live cost of storage on the Autonomous DSN and at the true cost of on-chain storage with the AutoDrive service fee included. So I can, on that screen, I can either select between one of the kind of pre-selected packages or go into the custom screen and select a dedicated amount. As soon as I pick the amount in megabytes, gigabytes, or terabytes, but as I mentioned, the current cap is 100 gigabytes of storage you can purchase at a time. I will see the cost of storage in AI3 tokens and its USD equivalent. Then I need to click on Confirm Purchase. And over here, I'll stop for a second and talk about the quoted price. So the current cost of storage that you see on the screen, so this it's what we call an intent. This quoted price is locked for 10 minutes. That means that I need to complete the wallet transaction within that time frame, within this 10 minutes. If this timer expires, I should go back and request a fresh quote. But I'll click on confirm purchase, and I'll see the next screen. On the next screen, I need to connect my wallet first. And this wallet needs to be an EVM compatible wallet, and it needs to have an AI3 on AutoEVM. So you need to have tokens on AutoEVM and not on the consensus chain. If your AI3 tokens are on a consensus chain, they need to be XDM'd to the AutoEVM first. So I'll go ahead and connect my MetaMask wallet. Then you will see that another kind of screen updated. You can see my wallet address that is connected. You'll see the recipient address, and you will see the amount that we need to transfer. So the only thing remaining is clicking on send transfer. And of course, you will see that now I get a pop-up in my MetaMask, and I need to confirm the transaction. And as simple as that, we just send the transfer and purchase some credits. But now I need to wait for 6 confirmation blocks. And while we wait for this to complete, even though it takes literally like about 30 seconds, I'll once again kind of talk through the current limitations of the system and what we have in place. First, purchasing credits requires Google authentication. So as I mentioned, you need to sign in with the Google in order to get access to that screen. Second, each account can hold a maximum of 100 gigabytes of purchased and unused storage credits at a time. If you purchase 10 gigabytes, then you use this 10 gigabytes and you want to purchase 100 more, there is no problem with that. So it's 100 gigabytes of unused storage credits at a time. Third, purchase credits they expire after 90 days or roughly 3 months. And credits closest to expiry are always used first when uploading. Fourth, payments must be made with AI3 on AutoEVM. If you hold AI3 on the consensus chain, you need to move or XDM your tokens to AutoEVM before purchasing storage credits on AutoDrive. And finally, as I mentioned, the quote is time limited. Once the user confirms the order, the price is locked for 10 minutes. If the payment is not complete within this window, the user needs to generate a new quote. And I just want to point out that these are current product constraints and not the final shape of the system. This mainly exists to prevent unused storage credit accumulation while the network is still maturing. And as you can see now, the sufficient enough time has passed. We'll see the 6 blocks confirmations are there. So we can go back to AutoDrive and click on continue, and we'll see the confirmation or the transaction receipt. So we just purchased 5 megabytes of credits on AutoDrive. We've paid 6.83 AI3 for that. You'll see the transaction hash, and you will see the total amount of credits that you have available for you. So I can click on continue on the dashboard, and from there, it's pretty much as always. So like there is no dedicated flow for using these credits. You can upload the files via the UI as usual. So you can click on add new file, select the folder or file. You can use the SDK, and you can use the REST API as well, of course. Like if you're still curious, if you want to learn more, if you want to go into more details, we of course have dedicated page on developer docs that you can visit. It's available at develop.autonomous.xyz, and we're gonna leave the link in the description to that video as well. And if you go there, you can click on AutoDrive, and you'll see more information about Pay with AI3. And we have a very short 2-minute demo, which quickly goes and describes how to purchase storage credits on AutoDrive. A few more things I wanted to mention before I wrap up the demo. And these are the things like who might need decentralized storage, right? Like what are the use cases? And I would say that this decentralized permanent storage is useful when data should remain accessible and verifiable over time. So this can include developers building applications that need a storage layer independent of a single cloud storage provider. It could include teams storing public data sets, research materials, documentation, media archives, health data, application data. that should not depend on one company's infrastructure. And the important distinction is that it's not meant to replace every normal storage use case. For temporary files, for some of the private drafts, or the data that needs permanent deletion, frequent deletion, traditional storages may be a better fit. But AutoDrive is most relevant when permanence, accessibility, and verifiable storage are a part of your requirement. So the practical takeaways are as this. Pay with AI3 gives AutoDrive users a direct way to purchase permanent decentralized storage credits. The free tier is still useful for those who are trying the product or for those who are using it for storing the agentic experiences or agent memories. Grants and partnerships will still be ongoing and is still a legitimate way to get access to AutoDrive, but Pay with AI3 adds a self-service path for anyone who wants to buy storage directly. And for users, the flow is straightforward. Sign in, choose how much storage you want to buy, pay with AI3, and start uploading your files right away. And that's the main change that Pay with AI3 is introducing. Access to permanent decentralized storage on the Autonomous network is a simple click away. That's it for my demo, John.
Thanks, Emil. You teed me up really nicely there by talking through some use cases, of course. And while Emil's been talking, we have a list of links to add. And I've put in some extra stuff there, so links to the relevant places in the developer docs, Auto SDK access to this. So if you want to buy storage programmatically, there are places for you to go. But as I say, Emil has teed me up very nicely because I am going to give you a demo. So, really one of the things that we've been thinking through for a while is, we have a live network, we have a live economy. One of the things that we really need to do now is drive usage. And actually that's borne out with the restrictions, the current restrictions. I can see a question actually, why do the credits expire? So yeah, so we want people to use storage. We don't want people to accumulate storage without any intention on using it, which we've reduced the friction on being able to buy storage to it's bare minimum. So the idea is that you can buy storage just before you use it. The restrictions aren't there. I mean, if you genuinely come to us and say, hey, this is hurting my use case, let us know and we'll work out a way to a workaround for it. But yeah, I want to talk about a little project, a showcase really. This is like quite a contrived example, but it does kind of touch on it that would be interesting. So this is Autonomys. It's a little application we put together. There is a video for this in the same place as Emil's Pay with AI3 walkthrough. If you check out the Pay with AI3 announcements, Autonomys is referenced there. So it's a web app. It's for creating permanent on-chain eulogies stored on the Autonomys DSN through AutoDrive, through the SDK. It was built as the first reference implementation for Pay with AI3. So from taking AutoDrive, which is more like a kind of a Dropboxy type interface, to this is how a developer can actually build on top of the DSN. This is how they can monetize a product, and a way to earn money from backing onto that storage. So the use case is deliberate, but of course, because the eulogy is the kind of content where permanence really does matter. There's no server to shut down, no company to go bankrupt. The words are content addressed on the DSN and verifiable by anyone. That cannot change. And the emotional weight behind those makes the storage guarantee tangible in a way that upload a file type demos never really do. It's shipped as open source in the Autonomous community org, same place as the AI3 supply checker. And it's live, as you can see there. It's at autonomous.vercel.app. There will be a link down below just shortly after the call concludes. And we do have a blog post which spotlights this application. So Yeah, look, if you search for Autonomous Pay with AI3 or Autonomous Unanimous, if you can spell that all in one go, you should find it. So yeah, before I demo, a quick rundown on what's under the hood here. It's the Next.js app deployed on Vercel. It uses Neon Postgres for some metadata and moderation state. Very lightweight outside of the DSN. The DSN is the star of the show, of course. It uses the AutoDrive SDK for uploads and retrieval. And the interaction for Pay with AI3. It uses WAGMI for wallet interaction, and it uses Auto EVM, of course, because that's where we're paying for the storage. It does demonstrate one of the merchant patterns that we have. I mean, the idea is, of course, that we offer developers the building blocks that are low level enough where they can decide on how they'd like to compose their user's experience. But this demonstrates one example where the app developer holds the key, and the user is basically paying for the developer holds the auto drive key, and the user is paying the intent on the developer's behalf. We talk about other methods, and we have an RFC up actually for a more comprehensive way of handling users and auto drive. So we are still thinking about that. Okay, let's get into it. So obviously we have a landing page here. I'm going to assume that there's a level of understanding about Pay with AI3 and what the DSN is, and permanent storage on a decentralized network of farmers. So I'm not going to dwell too long here. Let's just jump straight into it. So we can take a look at some example eulogies. This content, of course, being served from the DSN through Auto Drive. We can create a eulogy. So let me grab I've got some prepared content here. Let's do 151. Friend. And private just means that it's not available in the on the front end. Obviously, if you submit to the DSN without any compression or without any encryption, it's available to everyone. I'm going to write something nice about this person. If you do find yourself struggling with the words, remember the journey to the crack of door with I imagine some are recognizing the literary reference here. So the idea is that if the API is working, okay, so you'll get a back and forth with an AI agent who's going to try and, it's not going to try and put words in your mouth, but it's going to try and help you unlock something eloquent to say about this person. We're going to add a picture, a memory that we shared together, and then I'm going to preview. Okay, so I'm just going to check. Okay, everything looks right. The data looks good, because of course I'm about to commit to storing this forever on the DSN. So let's proceed to payment. Okay, so I'm told that I'm about to make a storage payment. It's going to be stored permanently. I have a wallet connected in the same way that Emil has. I have my my test wallet here connected, and we're going to calculate the cost. So this is an interesting thing. We're using the Auto SDK to hit the cost endpoint, which is giving us the real-time cost of storage based price of storing 2.39 megabytes. So I'm happy with this anyway. So this is what it's going to cost me. And then I'm going to be asked to sign the transaction, which I'm happy with. And fingers crossed, we are going to get a confirmation. I don't have anything prepared. Emil had something prepared to talk about while it's waiting, and I realized that as soon as he started something slick, I started sweating. I was trying to think of something good to have. Okay, but behind the scenes, what's happened is we've got the price, and then we've created an intent to pay. An intent gets created on the back end. Sorry, we get a price. When we're happy, we create an intent. We say we do want to purchase some storage. We create that intent, and then we get a key back. We then pay into a contract on Auto EVM, and we provide that key that we were given, which is how the back end understands that it's paid for the storage. So we just paid for exactly the amount of storage that we want to use to store those words and that picture. So that is the transaction that we're actually waiting on here. I should be able to view it actually. Okay, so you can see there it's a pay intent. We should be there any moment, so we can see it's this is block scout, so we can see that we're at 3 block confirmations. We need a couple more. Okay. This is taking longer than normal. There is a video where this happens quicker. A couple of other features, actually, I guess. So you may see there's a sponsors link at the top there. It is possible for people to contribute to a fund. Contribute to a fund. We don't think it's a nice thing that someone else might decide that they'd like to contribute some of their AI3 for someone else to create a eulogy. So there's a sponsors link there. You can contribute and you get kind of added to a register there. So we have a eulogy stored, which we can now view. And what we can see now is that this is permanently recorded on the DSN. It would take the whole network to go down for your content to be to disappear now. We have a CID, which, yes, we can click on. And here you can see that this is actually being served by the Auto Drive gateway. So you can see the XML that makes up your eulogy. Verify on chain. So the content here matches the content identifier that it's filed under. So you can verify that what you're seeing is what is actually stored on chain. And you can share as you normally can. Okay, so very quickly, because this has gone a bit long, as I mentioned, there's a community fund. This actually uses the Auto SDK in the back end. So we wrote kind of a proof of concept in Autonomys, and then we took out the building blocks that developers would like to use. So there's 4 kind of flow methods, which is create payment intent. I should have just gone straight to the docs. It's much more eloquent than me trying to say it. So we, actually, first of all, we get storage price, which is like a helper function. And then that's kind of a read. And then the rights are you create the payment intent, and then you would watch the payment transaction. So basically, this is where you link up in the Auto SDK. Hey, I've just paid for that amount of storage that I asked for in the intent. Actually, it's I've paid for the storage at the price that the intent reserved for me. And then there's a method that will block. It will wait. It will get intent status, so it's polling for that transaction to complete. And then there's a wait for payment completion method, which you can use. There's also one other helper function, so you can get storage price, but you can also get the contract info. The idea is that you can just import the SDK, and in a few lines you can be paying with AI3 in your own app as well. If you did check out the original incarnation of Autonomys, then it's worth going back and checking it out again, because it does now employ the Auto SDK. As I mentioned earlier, extending this, we would like better user management. You still have to have the developer's key in the mix, which is not going to be ideal for every use case. So we've got some ideas about how we can change things around there. Okay. 2 successful demos on our first day back. That is amazing. Okay, one last thing from me is I wanted to quickly touch on enhanced S3 support. So hopefully you can see that the theme here is that we're really trying to make it as easy as possible to use the storage in the DSN. You know, Pay with AI3 was a massive step towards being able to do that. As Emil said, it's self-serve now. You don't need to use the free tier. You don't need to ask for credits. You can just buy them yourself at the current cost of storage. But one of the other kind of low-hanging fruit we saw was that we've beefed up the S3 support. Announcements have gone out about this this week. You know, we are talking about opportunities to meet storage users where they live, where they work. So full S3 support is also a big step. Where we've got overtime here, we're going to talk about that next time maybe. And you know, there's going to be a little bit of catching everyone up with what's been going on the development side. Which is probably the perfect chance for me to hand over to Ved, who's going to give us some updates and a catch up on what's been going on the monorepo, on the protocol side of things.
Hey folks, so coming back to the monorepo, we've done mostly since the last time we spoke, a couple of big upgrades went into Kronos and also mainnet as well. But mainnet is we are still testing a few things on Kronos, and the first things that comes to these releases are security updates or dependency updates. We recently were a little bit lagging on the dependency updates, specifically substrate upgrades. We were like a couple of upgrades behind. What we wanted to do this time was to be as close to the upgrade as possible so that we are capturing the latest version that was actually deployed out. So following that, we'll have a new Kronos release a couple of days back. So far, everything's good. We don't hear any issues with it. Another few more days over the weekend, and then next week we'll have a mainnet release done there. So to quickly talk about what the mainnet release is going to have, one of the most important things that is more visible outlined is the farmer performance upgrades that went in Kronos April release. Essentially, the proof of space improvements have been have improved significantly. The table generation around 36% faster. Proof lookup time is around 30% faster, and verification is around 40% faster than what we have on the mainnet. So once that is deployed, note that this is already available on Kronos if someone wants to run this particular release, or running a latest release, you would already get everything there is to be. Yes, so that's pretty much it. Once we have these, we have a couple of runtime upgrades to do, and then we will have more things to talk about on data domains and etc. in the next developer sync. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Ved. Okay, right. I just wanted to touch on, we did have one kind of follow-up from Crazy Ninja, you know, pointing out the AI-free credits are not permanent if they expire. That's spot on. Credits are not permanent. The storage is the storage that you buy. So you buy, the idea is that you buy the storage credits, you use the storage credits, the storage that you paid for is permanent. Just want to make that distinction in case anyone else is confused out there. But yeah, I think that's it from us. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Check out the links down below, like and subscribe as usual. And yeah, we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining.